My name is Janet Atkinson. My child's name is Taylor Atkinson, and his diagnosis is autism, cerebral palsy, grand mal seizures, and a whole nother mix of things. My journey, of course, I started as a very professional person in the workforce, and then I had a child with special needs. And unfortunately, I lost my career job because Taylor was not just disabled, but he was in and out of the hospital a lot, which kind of hurt a lot of things going on because financially I lost my career. But nothing was more important than taking care of my child. I had a very strong marriage, I thought. Unfortunately, when you have a child that's not just disabled, but severely health involved, it puts such a strain, not just financially, but also your everyday life. So being in and out of the hospital quite a bit was kind of my beginning journey, and losing, unfortunately, my job and just trying to keep a marriage together, trying to be there for my son. I ended up sleeping for probably a year on a recliner to keep him upright so he could breathe. So I had this beautiful baby room that I did not get to use the first year of his life. Some of the challenges throughout the years was trying to find out all his health problems. Going to the hospital all the time and the doctors trying to figure it out and finding every specialist there was, and finding the right one that will listen to you. Setting up therapies. That was such a challenge too. And we're talking almost 30 years ago. Services weren't handed to you. Services were not so well known. Back then it was like, I need to find a job to get back to work, and getting him to OT, occupational therapy, PT, physical therapy, ST, speech therapy. It was back and forth to the United Cerebral Palsy almost daily. I was able to take and put Taylor into this day program where his therapists were right there, and they were used to working with children, babies, infants and toddlers with special needs, so I was so lucky. Oh, being a caregiver is, no matter what, you always have to fight. I don't care if your baby is 1 hour old or my son is now 29 and a half. You always end up having to fight. And I don't mean fight where you're angry all the time, but you have to, what's out there? What services can my child receive to help him be the best he can be? Always looking for things to better him. And thank goodness things are better now than they were 30 years ago, but they always could be better. And you're always fighting to get what's right for your child. And if you don't advocate for your child, no one else is going to do it. Let's see, if I had a magic wand and I could wish for anything, I think because Taylor now is an adult, definitely what's going to happen to him after I'm gone. I don't have family around, and when you have a child that's not just disabled, because he'll never be able to work. If you have a child like mine that is pretty severe and very health involved, a lot of people don't want to care for that child, especially when they're young, they're cute, and they're fun and they're cute and they're learning, but when your child gets older, who wants to take care of the adult child? But definitely my whole gut, my whole wish, my whole scare is what's going to happen to my son when I'm gone. And I'm with a lot of groups that are trying to put that together. And there are group homes. If they're high functioning and they can go to work, or they can advocate for themselves and say, hey, this person hurt me. When you have a child, an adult child that can't tell you that, it's a scare. So my wish is that maybe someday something will happen before I'm gone that I could get him set up in something like that. I would love to see a progressive village. I would love to see our kids that are lower functioning have a safe, happy place to go. 27 years ago, there was not a church I could find that had anything to do with special needs. And it was God and Taylor that gave me the voice to help start churches to do special needs. I did visit a group home that Taylor's case coordinator took me to, and I asked them, I said, on Sunday, what church do you take them to? Because it doesn't matter to me, as long as he's going to God's house. And they said, we've never heard of that before. And I said, well, that's all Taylor knows. He's at church on Sunday with his friends. He goes Wednesday night to Bible study. He has fellowship groups during the week. That's his life. He needs to continue that and growing in God's love. You know, at first I prayed, God, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to my child? Life has been pretty hard being a single mom of a teen adult with special needs. But I told him, Taylor's Taylor. He's pretty cool. And he's a fun guy. And he shows nothing but love. He just loves people. It's pretty cool that when you're in the hospital for 4 months and nurses and aides are coming in and saying, there's something about him. And I said, besides he's got a gorgeous mom, you know, what else could there be? And they say, there's something about him. And they come when they get off and sit down and say, what is it? And I said, he just shows God's love. Jesus shows through him. And they'll sit with me for a while so we could talk about that. At first, it's shocking. At first, it's like, what do I do? But you learn along the way, and it's your child. And I would tell any parent now that has a young child, look into early steps. Get that child started, because that funding stops at the age of 3. And then the next step is the child find, getting into child find, and trying to get services in the school system. We're all different. We're all different. They're just different in another way. But it's okay. It's okay. You'll go places, you'll be embarrassed sometimes. But I embarrass him sometimes. So it's all cool. It's all good. You'll make it. You'll be amazed at the friends you make. You'll be amazed at what's out there that you would have never known if it wasn't for your child.